Hi, this is Jack from Alpha Charts with a stocks to watch video. Today is January 10th, 2021, and we're going to go ahead and go through a bunch of stocks, 30 ideas with an additional three short squeeze ideas in this video. Before we get started, this video is for educational purposes only. These are not recommendations to buy, sell, or hold any stock or security. And I may hold positions in some of the equities mentioned. Know your time frame and risk tolerance. Also, if you enjoy these videos, please like and subscribe. I'm on Twitter also at AlphaCharts365. I'm on YouTube, and I do post on TradingView also. All right, so these let's start with an index review. This is QQQ. Again, very quickly, broke out, retest. The 23-day EMA has held just fine. Has not closed below it. Has tested a bunch of times, but never below it. Now, prices once again getting a little bit extended from the 23-day EMA. So maybe a little volatility in the first couple of days of the week, but the uptrend is strong and intact. And I think we are in a very bullish environment. With that being said, let's go through these names. Like always, I do this quickly. If I cannot tell you what I like about a chart in under 30 seconds, then I'm trying too hard, right? So let's go ahead and do this. Here's my list, and number one, AHCO. Let's try it one more time. AHCO. All right. So, nice uptrend, sideways consolidation. See how this was a terrible day, down 5%, rough day. The next day, price came back with a vengeance, and you had a almost 13% up day. Once again, challenging all-time high area right here. I think if this breaks out above 39.75 or so, I think this is a good long. AHCO, CHX. Champion X, this is one that I kind of watched break out, kind of got away from me. I would love to see this come back, retest this breakout area, right? So here's your breakout area. A retest or somehow meet this 23-day EMA somewhere in here. That would be a great entry in my opinion. The good volume coming in here. So just extended, pull back, hit the 23-day or retest this breakout. I don't think it has to come all the way back here. And then I think this could move higher. LPRO, Lending Pro, beautiful uptrend, right? I mean, just straight up. But it keeps, goes up, consolidates, up, consolidates, up, consolidates. So good chance that this is going to be moving up again. Gets back above 35.15 or something like that. I think you can manage risk very well against whether you want to do against this breakdown or maybe the trend line, whatever you think. Next up, FVRR, Fiverr. It's been it goes through up phases, consolidates, up, consolidates, up, consolidates. And this kind of looks like it wants to start its next leg higher. It did close at all-time highs. That's always a positive. So that's maybe it's not the newest name out there, but I still think it shows a good risk reward. Next up is Tenable, 10B, TENB. And so, we had some, good news or something here, big up. It's now consolidated, pulled back, and you see it starting to break out again. So at this point, you may have some more chopping around. Maybe it's making a small cup and handle or something like that. Just finishing to let these moving averages catch up a little bit more. So definitely watch it. 55.75, right? That's kind of, where maybe it may hit a little bit of resistance, pull back just a little bit more, and then have these catch up and then break out. That's what I'm looking for in this one. ALGM, newer name for me, new IPO. And so, made this IPO kind of like base, I will call it. Broke out here in good volume, pulled back on Friday on lower volume, retested the breakout. I mean, that's a quick retest. I like this one to manage risk at 28, even $28. Give it a little bit of space. It may need to chop around for a day or two, let this, for a few days to let this moving average catch up to it a little bit. But this is a brand new name. I think that people are first discovering it, and that adds a little more fire behind some of these moves. Next up is an oldie but goodie, Peloton, PTON. Peloton, a lot of people were like, oh, it's going, it's going to zero, the story's over. And really all it did was pull back into its moving average, kind of came back, consolidated. This is where I got involved. I do own Peloton, as well as some of these other names. And then, boom, broke out, pulled back on lighter volume to a 23-day EMA, moving higher. People want to be involved in this name. That's what this is telling me. So I think this one can move much, much higher. Farfetch, another oldie but goodie. It's funny. I was in Farfetch back here. I haven't been in it since. Actually, it was in here, actually. I was in Farfetch. I made some money over here. I got out of it probably somewhere in there. But it's setting up again. It's a pretty good name. And I think, 65, 65.50, that's the area I'd be watching. It kind of pulled back, in okay volume into the 23-day EMA. Maybe it goes down to the 65. I don't know. But I think, 65, 65.50, that's the place to manage risk against. And so if we get above that area, then you could manage the risk. Next up is Zscaler. A great run in the end of the year, November, December. It's now pulled back, fairly late volume actually. I'm not worried about this bar. It's the first day of the year. A lot of people repositioning and things of that nature. But so far, so good. I came back into the 23-day EMA, dipped below it, popped right back up, and now it's moving higher. Zscaler looks pretty good. PAGS, Brazilian name. This was all-time highs. It broke out, kind of came back and retested it. Just zooming in here a little bit. Came back, retested, breakout, touched the 23-day EMA, and kind of popped up above it again. So I think that's the place to manage risk, right? About $52 or the rising 23-day EMA. Every time we got close to it, it has respected it. So that would make sense. That it should continue to do that. StoneCo, another, I believe it's a Brazilian name. This one is in a beautiful uptrend and broke out of this little consolidation, went higher, pulling back to the 23-day. So that's the kind of area that I'm looking at. The volume is pretty good so far. So that's StoneCo. If I was to get involved in this one, I'd probably feel more comfortable playing more of a breakout than the pullback, just from the way it looks. 1M, ONELIFE Healthcare. So this one, you have this area that was important. It came up, tried to break out. It wasn't quite ready yet. It's moving sideways. The volume is okay just recently, but that's just a consolidation. The moving averages are now catching up to it. I think it's a great place. You can manage risk against $40. That's very reasonable. You got a rising, all your moving averages are rising, and it is right near all-time high territory. I think ONELIFE, if you really want to, play it safe, above 44.50. I think that is the breakout, but this looks very constructive. Upwork, UPWK. Love the story in this one. You see here is the volume weighted average price from the gap up, and it has held again. Price is now trying to break out again of this area. Some people may say, oh, look, it looks like a head and shoulders top. It's in an uptrend. Head and shoulders tops would be extremely likely in such a strong uptrend. Not saying that can't happen, but when you see this power gap right here, right? This power gap tells me that there's buyers stepping in. Look at this volume. There's buyers stepping in. So I don't think this will turn to head and shoulders. I think this is going to be making higher highs and higher lows, and I think this is going to start moving much higher. And very actionable right now, actually, in my opinion. Unity Software, newer name, so it had a big run up and has what could be a double top. But the nice thing about double top is it never confirmed. It held this 135, 136 area. And so that's the place you can manage risk against, right? It is below a declining 23-day EMA. So for me, it's in a choppy area. But that's just for me, I mean, this isn't, this video is for, everyone has different styles. But I think 136, that's the place to manage risk on a closing basis, because that would potentially confirm a double top, right? If it closes below there. And so, yeah, I think Unity Software, some decent volume too coming in on this, on right at support, potential support right here. So that's good looking. All right, next up, NEO, a few Chinese names. Everyone knows NEO. It's had an amazing run. We've been watching it for a while. Now it's back to all-time highs. Everything is moving higher again. Volume's coming in. And NEO looks pretty good. And its brother, NIU, broke out, kind of chopped around in this area, coming back up. Good volume coming in. Look how the volume really got slow over here as it's consolidating. That down volume was below average, and so come back up. Maybe needs to pull back a little bit, make a handle, let the moving averages catch up. But 137, 35-ish, that's the breakout, or a pullback into the moving averages. That would also be a potential buy position. KC, newer, again, another Chinese name. Broke out of this area, pulled back on lighter volume, and now had a big up move, right? There's a little power behind this move right here. So, you can manage risk by, maybe all-time highs, 49.50-ish on a closing basis. We'll see what happens, but all the moving averages are now back moving up again, and this one looks pretty good. Maybe you want to, you could put maybe a trend line like this and see what happens with that. Maybe you can manage your risk against that trend line, whatever you think. All right, skills. All right, this one was a SPAC, and so it's moved higher. It's a little bit looser, right? So it's going to be a little more volatile. So position size accordingly. But looking at it, as it's moving up, it's doing on pretty good volume. As it's pulling back, it's kind of doing a lighter volume. All the trends are going higher. It's the 23-day EMA is just catching up. Again, you can easily say that this is the area to manage risk against. Maybe it's making a cup and handle right here, just kind of chilling out, waiting for this 23-day to catch up a little bit more. So yeah, a shallow pullback here and then breakout, that would look pretty good. MP, so again, another SPAC kind of broke out here, and you see these powerful moves up. All right, now it kind of pulled back. This was a big thrust, pulled back to the 23-day EMA. It's kind of flat now. Let's see what happens here. You can maybe draw a trend line like that. That's kind of a steep trend line, but it's a steep uptrend too. May need to make it more of a cup here. We'll see what happens with this one, but I do like this name, its story, and its growth. This most recent volume is not my favorite, but we'll see what happens with this. Again, it's just a pullback to the 23-day for now. Good chance that this also bounces. Next up, Palantir. Palantir is what I've been watching for a while. I was in it for a while, got stopped out, but I do like how this has went up and it's flagging, and it's just kind of within this flag, right? We don't know what's going to happen. It's kind of got this VWAP pinch going on here. It's got this trend line pinch going on here. It's going to have to make its decision pretty soon. So this is definitely one to watch. Which way does it break? Next up, apps. A lot of people are familiar with apps. We have a nice little downtrend that you could put in right here. So that's your flag, if you want to call it that. The 23-day has held, right? It went below it, popped right back. Good volume. I'm sorry, on good price action. Kind of weak volume. So we're just going to watch it. Again, it has to break out above this trend line. That would be a decent risk reward entry. And then the 23-day would start to curl back up again. Real. Hold on 1 second. I'll mute you for 1 second here. Balance here. Okay, sorry about that. Real. This interesting area right here, it broke out. For me, this will have to retest because this is way extended, but I do like this name and what it's doing. JMIA. Pullback on lower volume, looks absolutely amazing. Pins, big time consolidation. Now it's breaking out. Go. AV watt pinch here. I think if it gets above this area, this can move very quickly. Great volume. 4, shift for payments, good volume profile, and it's moving higher. Smile Direct Club, SDC, IPO kind of inverse head and shoulder base. Looks pretty good. Good volume too. EXPI, it pulled back into its this support, then bounced much higher. Great volume profile. Mary broke out, came back, held the 23-day, moving higher. So I'd watch for this breakout above $84, $85. And UPSK, Upstart, brand new IPO. One to watch, good volume coming in. Now my short squeeze ideas are Love. Love is now breaking out of an important area right here, all-time highs. I like this one, move much higher, great volume, high short interest, and days to cover. DDS broke out, came back, retest, 23 days, moving higher. Again, high days to cover, looks really good. And LGMD, Ligand Pharmaceuticals, huge days to cover. If this breaks out of this important area, this can move much higher. Look at this volume coming in. Looks great. And there you have 18 minutes, 33 stocks. Hope you all got something out of it. Have a great day.